Welcome! Do you want to learn English in a fun and easy way? In this video, we teach English using narrated, animated stories. Here is how it works. On the left, watch the beautiful animations. They are designed to help you understand and enjoy the story. On the right, you can read along as you listen to the narrator. When we reach a difficult word, don't worry. A box will appear at the bottom with a simple definition and an example to help you learn. Let's get started.
On June 1, 2026, a special bell rang in New York City. This bell was at the NASDAQ stock market, where companies trade shares. It was an important day because SpaceX, a rocket company started by Elon Musk, began selling its shares to the public. When the trading started, Elon Musk reached a new level of wealth. He became the world's first trillionaire. His total net worth, which includes his shares in SpaceX and his electric car company Tesla, was about $1.1 trillion. He also owns parts of other companies like Neuralink and the Boring Company. This number, $1 trillion, is very hard to understand. Most people think in hundreds or thousands of dollars. Billions already seem like too much, but a trillion is much, much bigger. To help understand, $1 trillion is more than twice the annual GDP of South Africa, the country where Musk was born. Only about 21 countries in the world have a GDP over $1 trillion. This huge amount of money was possible because of a special system of companies Musk built. Some people call this system the musconomy. It is like a private group of industries all working together. We will explain how this system works in more detail in the chapters that follow. Think about this. One single man now holds more wealth than the poorest half of all people on Earth combined. That is 3.8 billion people.
How did an ordinary boy from Pretoria, South Africa, get to this amazing number? A number that makes us think completely differently about money. The answer lies in his past. Turn the page to find out more. 2. A boy from South Africa. Elon Musk was born in Pretoria, South Africa in 1971. Even as a boy, he showed a strong interest in computers and entrepreneurship. When he was just 12 years old, he created a video game. It was a simple space-themed shooter game called Blastar. He sold this rudimentary game to a computer magazine for $500. This early success showed his drive and how he thought about business even then. Later, Elon moved to Canada and then to the United States. He studied at the University of Pennsylvania, getting degrees in business and physics. He then went to Stanford University for graduate studies, but left after only 2 days. He had a strong conviction that he needed to start working on new internet companies instead of staying in school. He co-founded a software company named Zip2, which he sold in 1999. This earned him $22 million. Next, he started an online payment company called X.com. This company later became PayPal. In 2002, eBay bought PayPal for a lot of money, and Elon received $175 million from the sale. For many people, this amount of money would be enough to live comfortably forever.
But Elon Musk made a wildly, recklessly bold choice. Instead of retiring, he decided to bet almost all of his money on 2 very difficult dreams. He wanted to build electric cars when most people thought they were not important. He also wanted to create private rockets to travel to space cheaply when only big governments could do that. These new companies were called Tesla and SpaceX. Building them was not easy. There were many hard times, and he would later face a devastating moment in 2008 when he risked losing everything. But with such an audacious gamble, would his new companies fail, or would they change the world forever? 3. Building the big machines. SpaceX made the impossible real. Its rockets flew into space and then landed back on Earth. This revolutionized space travel forever. But both SpaceX and Tesla faced brutal early failures. SpaceX nearly ran out of money after 3 rocket launches failed. Elon Musk himself said he was spreading his last funds between both companies in 2008, thinking both might collapse. Tesla also struggled to get its first cars made and sold, yet Musk kept pushing. SpaceX soon became a dominant force. Its reusable Falcon 9 rockets greatly lowered the cost of going to space. This changed the launch industry completely. Then came Starlink, a network of thousands of small satellites. These satellites brought fast internet to remote parts of the world, connecting places fiber cables could not reach.
In 2025, SpaceX earned $18.7 billion, mostly from Starlink, but also from rockets and its AI work. Tesla also grew fast, changing from a small, curious idea to the most valuable car company in the world. Under Musk's leadership, Tesla made electric cars not just environmentally friendly, but truly desirable and powerful machines. Models like the Model 3 became very popular. Musk then started to bring his many companies even closer. In 2022, he bought Twitter and changed its name to X. He also started a new artificial intelligence company called xAI. Later, he made a massive merger, combining SpaceX with xAI. This created an entity worth over $1 trillion, setting the stage for bigger things. The companies often invested in each other. For example, Tesla put money into SpaceX, and SpaceX bought Tesla products. This careful joining of businesses created what people called the musconomy. It was a powerful, self-feeding ecosystem where each part helped the others grow stronger. There were even plans for giant data centers in space, hints of a space cloud for future AI, which would be explored later. Now the musconomy was fully built. It was a strong, complex machine that controlled many important parts of technology in space. But to reach the mythical trillion-dollar mark, Musk needed one final huge move. He had to launch the biggest, most risky stock market event in human history.
The countdown to this ultimate payday had begun. 4. The day the money grew. The morning of June 12, 2026, was a day of great expectation on Wall Street. Inside tall buildings, behind closed doors, important people waited. This was the moment for the initial public offering of SpaceX, Elon Musk's rocket and satellite company. It was set to be the biggest stock market debut in history. SpaceX aimed to gather an amazing $75 billion. This huge event promised great wealth for many. A special group of rich investors, called venture capitalists, and politically connected insiders stood to gain billions. Their profits would be enormous, hinting at big political discussions to come in the next chapter. The market bell rang, and trading began. SpaceX shares were first offered at $135 each. But excitement for the company was very high. The demand for shares was immediate and strong. The pacing of trading quickly accelerated. Within just a few moments, the stock price began to jump sharply upwards.
It rose quickly from its starting price. Soon, it settled at $150 per share. This rapid increase was more than just a good day for SpaceX. Mathematically, it pushed Elon Musk's personal wealth over the $1 trillion mark. Elon Musk was now officially the world's first trillionaire, at least on paper. But this was far more than just a large amount of money in a bank account.
These incredible numbers gave him something even bigger: absolute control. This control extended over global information networks and the very infrastructure of space itself. With his power growing beyond anything seen before, a dark shadow began to spread. This shadow was political controversy, which now threatened to consume him. This moment was not just about wealth. It was about power that went far beyond human limits. What happens when money buys such immense influence and authority? 5. Power and politics. After becoming the world's first trillionaire, Elon Musk stepped deeply into the world of government and politics. He used some of his massive wealth to support political campaigns. In 2024, he contributed hundreds of millions of dollars to Republican candidates, especially backing Donald Trump's presidential bid. Following Trump's victory, Musk was given a very important role. He joined a special advisory group called the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. This group had a big job: to suggest large cuts to federal spending and many government rules. However, many people quickly saw problems with this. Critics from different political sides pointed out serious conflicts of interest. SpaceX, Musk's rocket and satellite company, received a significant amount of its money, about 1/5 of its total revenue, from contracts with the very same U.S. government that Musk was now advising.
Reports showed that more than 70% of the government agencies DOGE looked at had connections to Musk's various businesses. This raised questions about whether his role was truly for public good or for his own company's benefit. The charity organization Oxfam also highlighted these concerns in a detailed report. They called Musk a government-backed trillionaire. Oxfam argued that his immense fortune grew not only from innovation, but also from a tax system that favored the rich, strong government support, and too much political power. These concerns came at a time when shocking reports from Oxfam showed increasing extreme poverty around the globe. Further details about these troubling statistics will be shared in the next chapter. With billions of dollars in government contracts now secured for his companies, and with political opponents allegedly silenced, Musk's growing empire seemed almost untouchable. His influence spread wide, reaching into government decisions and public infrastructure. But beneath the surface, a massive wave of global anger and concern was beginning to build. People worldwide were starting to question how much inequality a society could bear before the entire system might break. Chapter 6. Too much money. Elon Musk's money kept growing at an incredible speed. Every single minute, whether he was working, eating, or sleeping, his wealth grew by over $1 million. This was a staggering mathematical reality.
His fortune was so immense that it was difficult for most people to truly understand its scale. This led many to look back in history to a time known as the Gilded Age. During that period, powerful businessmen, often called barons, gathered vast fortunes. One famous example was John D. Rockefeller, who built the Standard Oil Company. Rockefeller's business empire became so large that it controlled almost all of America's oil. Because of this huge power, the government later decided that his company was too dominant. They forced it to break into many smaller parts. People now started to wonder if Musk's growing companies might face a similar fate in the future, with governments potentially stepping in to limit his power. This incredible wealth also showed a clear human cost. Reports from groups like Oxfam highlighted a sad truth about global inequality. Just 10% of Elon Musk's total fortune could pay for ending extreme poverty around the world for a whole year. This would cost about $96.2 billion. But instead of more help for the poor, foreign aid programs and other public services were cut. This happened during Musk's time advising the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, in the U.S. government. These decisions were expected to cause more hardship for the world's most vulnerable people. As the poorest continued to suffer and important aid was reduced, the Trillionaire's business only expanded.
This made many people question if such extreme wealth could ever be truly justified. Was it fair for one person to own so much while billions struggled for basic needs? This growing disagreement created a fierce battle of ideas. On one side were his biggest fans, who saw him as a visionary hero creating a better future. On the other side were his strongest critics, who believed his wealth showed a deeply broken system that allowed for too much inequality. This big debate was now ready to explode into public view. 7. Is this right or wrong? The ultimate philosophical showdown began. People now asked a big question. Was Elon Musk a great hero of human innovation, or was he a symptom of a broken, greedy system? Some said he was a hero. They believed he pushed the world forward. Thanks to him, electric cars became popular, and space travel became cheaper. SpaceX made rockets land themselves, a truly new thing. These changes helped the world, like fighting climate change and connecting people far away with Starlink internet. His supporters said his wealth showed the huge value he created for everyone. But others strongly disagreed. They saw his extreme wealth as a sign of a broken system. Musk had more money than the poorest 3.8 billion people on Earth combined. Critics argued this was not right. They said such wealth breaks the social contract, the unwritten rules of fairness in a society. They felt it gave one person too much power.
This power could shape politics and how people get information, which is dangerous for democracy. Musk, however, was not stopping. He was already planning new, big projects. One talked about building a space cloud. This would be a huge network of 1 million satellites in orbit. They would hold data centers for artificial intelligence, making AI faster and more powerful. This sounded like something from a science fiction book, but history showed that very large empires, like Standard Oil in the past, usually ended in dramatic government breakups. Standard Oil was a giant company that controlled most of the oil industry. The government eventually broke it into many smaller companies because it had too much power. Now, people wondered if the same would happen to Musk's empire. Would governments decide his companies were too big, too powerful? Or had he finally built a machine so strong and important to global life that no law or nation could control it?
This was the big question for the future. The final act of this story would reveal if one man's amazing journey would end in a historic breakup, or if he would forever change the rules of power and wealth on Earth. 8. What happens next? The future of Elon Musk's companies looks amazing and a little bit strange. SpaceX plans to send many new satellites into space. They call this a space cloud. The idea is to have 1 million satellites working together.
These satellites will be like big data centers, but in orbit around Earth. They will host advanced artificial intelligence, or AI, systems. Space is a perfect place for these powerful computers because it has endless solar power, and the cold vacuum helps keep the machines cool. This grand project could completely change how AI works for everyone on our planet. Beyond the space cloud, Musk has also thought about joining two of his biggest companies, Tesla and SpaceX. If this happens, it would create one giant, super powerful company. Experts say this combined entity could be worth about $3.4 trillion. Imagine one company making electric cars, building rockets for space travel, providing global internet, and leading in artificial intelligence. This would be an unprecedented step for a private company in history, holding immense power across many important industries. Thinking about this massive wealth, it is interesting to remember where Elon Musk began. He was born in Pretoria, South Africa, many years ago. Today, the total value of all goods and services made in South Africa each year is around $480 billion. This means Musk's personal fortune is more than twice as large as his home country's entire economy. This situation shows the ultimate paradox of modern wealth and global inequality. One person can accumulate so much while entire nations still work towards development.
The story of the world's first trillionaire is not the end of a chapter or a book. It is instead the beginning of a truly new time for humanity. Now, very wealthy private citizens can hold a kind of power that used to belong only to whole nations or large governments. This kind of influence can greatly affect global information, how we travel in space, and even how our societies are organized and run. It raises big questions about how much control one person should have over such crucial areas. This new ledger of human wealth will certainly reshape our future in many important ways. It could change how countries interact and how everyday life works for billions. How do you think this immense wealth will change our future? We would love to hear your thoughts and ideas about what happens next.
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.